Hey guys, it's Sarah back with Glam Finds, and like I told you in my last list of 5, I'm bringing you a few more lists for the fall, and this one is going to be your cheapie list. So this time it's also going to be 5 fragrances. These are all going to be under $35 for the size mentioned, and without further ado, let's do this. Alright guys, so these aren't going to be in any order. They're just going to be 5 good ones, and I'll tell you what I like about them. And we're going to start off with an Armaf, because you cannot have a cheapie list without having an Armaf. And this one is going to be Armaf Craze. Alright, so this fragrance is definitely a compliment getter. I mean, honestly, if it's not a compliment getter, it's not going to be on this list, because you know how I do. Mama loves a compliment getter. This fragrance has the 2 notes that you're going to pick out the most are going to be almond and vanilla. And it's just really good. And honestly, for a $20 fragrance, you get compliments and you get actually pretty decent longevity. To be honest, I haven't worn it in a while, but I just remember I was definitely getting between the 6 and 8 hour mark, closer to the 8 hour mark, with a pretty decent sillage bubble, which is awesome for something that is this inexpensive. Now, the bottle design is trash because I don't know if you can tell, hold on. Like, the whole thing kind of came off. That's how some of these Armaf bottles do. But you know what? For as little as you pay, you can't ask for the bottle to look too good. Although some of these other cheapies have much nicer bottles. And we're going to talk about those now. Next. Alright guys, so if you know me, I think this is one of the fragrances that a lot of people know me for because it's just one of my loves. It smells so good. And it's going to be Risasi Darij Pour Homme. I do not have the Pour Femme version, but I am going to eventually pick it up because the Pour Homme, honestly, by the way, before I even get into this, all of these are unisex fragrances. Whether or not they're advertised as unisex, they are very unisex smelling. You can correct me if you are a female and you've worn these and you felt differently, but none of these come off masculine off of my skin. I'm gonna say that, off of my specific skin at all. And most people have just been like, wow, your perfume smells really pretty. So off my skin chemistry, the sweetness and everything plays off of these fragrances, you know, in a very unisex way. You know, I don't like things that are too sweet because my skin will bring out the sweet notes. So if it's something that's already too sweet, it just gets super cloying on me. So this is such a good balance. For me, the way that they blended the cardamom with the cumin in this fragrance is insanely good. It's one of my favorites. It's in my top 10 for life. And I could not imagine not having a bottle of this forever. I mean, I have a backup bottle and I don't have a lot of fragrances. In fact, I have, I think, 2 fragrances that I own in total that I have a backup bottle of. But this is one I don't ever want to not have. It's so good. If you haven't smelled this, guys, honestly, smell it and thank me later. It's just one of my favorite fragrances to wear, and this is the perfect season to wear it. Whether it be date night, casually, now that it's a little bit cooler and it just smells good. But this one, if you really want a nice fall date night fragrance for under $30, don't look further than this. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all times. Next. Alright, so you guys already know that this was going to make it to the list. Why? Because super good fragrance. If you put it on a list and have somebody do a smelling rate, it will probably end up on top unless they have absolutely no taste in fragrance. And it's going to be John Varvatos Vintage. Now, I don't know what I can say about this that hasn't already been said, but it's so good. It's fresh. It's got lavender. It's got so many different notes that keep it fresh. A little bit of lemon, there's some basil in here, there's a little bit of green, but it's not overly green. It's just a little. But this one has tobacco and a little bit of tonka. I don't feel like it's a very sweet fragrance, but it's a nice leathery fragrance, but the leather has been balanced with so many fresh notes that it makes it so good. Honestly, I can't get enough of this one. I will say this, these The 75 ml now, you can get them for about $30. They're starting to go out of stock. Barbados fragrances in general will come and go, but I don't know if the bankruptcy made it to where people are rushing out to buy his fragrances. I don't know if they're about to get really hard to find. All I know is I was selling little packs of Barbados fragrances on eBay, and I think I will be taking those down because now I'm going to risk losing what I have left, because I feel like if they're hard to find, my inventory will dissipate. So I'm going to link this down below wherever I can find it, if I can find it anywhere. If you have not got your nose on this, honestly, I don't always recommend a blind buy. Blind buy this because if these are really taken off the market, you're going to be able to make your money and then some if you have a bottle and you don't want to keep it. Again, this is a really, really good fragrance. Like, if you haven't smelled it, do yourself a favor and smell it. It's the perfect fall fragrance. Date night, work, casual, especially if it's a nice cool day. Like, this does it all. Just smell it and you'll know. Again though, this is like a nice one to wear to dinner, to a nice meeting. It just smells good and pretty seductive. Next. All right guys, so I haven't talked about this one in a while, but this one you can get for under $20. It is supposed to smell like pure Havana. So what that's gonna tell you, it's gonna be a nice cherry tobacco. Yeah, it's a little synthetic, but for the $17 that it costs, you really can't complain. And that's Insurrection to Wild by Rayanne. So it's a really good one, guys. Nice, sweet cherry tobacco, if you like that. Again, very unisex scent. I feel like the one on this list that is going to be the least unisex, by the way, is the John Barbados Vintage, because it is kind of a leathery tobacco and it's got that lavender that keeps it fresh. The other four are super unisex to my nose, although the Barbados Vintage, off my skin, yeah, it could come off a little more masculine, but it really comes off more boss than anything else. So this one though, to me, very unisex and very good. And I've garnered a ton of compliments with this one. And again, for something that's under $20 to give you like a ton of compliments, that is awesome. You can't really ask for too much more. So if you're looking for a cheapie and you want that cherry tobacco, pretty versatile fragrance. I feel like most of these are. It's nice and sweet, but I've worn it to work. I think this one is probably better in the evenings, but honestly, just wear whatever you want when you want, because who cares? But again, when somebody smelled this on me, one of the nicest compliments that I got is, "Oh my God, you smell really good." And the reason that it was really nice was because she was in the middle of a conversation and she had to stop it to turn and tell me that I smelled really good. That's a win. So if you haven't checked this one out, honestly, if you are picking some stuff up at Fragrance Net or Fragrance Buy and you just need something to hit your shipping minimum, this is one of the ones that you could probably reach for, especially because again, it's getting a little cooler. And if you like that cherry pipe tobacco scent, get it. Next. All right guys, so this is not my favorite fragrance. I really like it, but I had to put this on the list because again, it's really good. It's perfect for fall. It's a nice, beautiful tobacco fragrance. It's pretty sweet. It's got a little bit of coconut, little rum, and it wins so many lists with Tamika. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save this one for last. And as you probably guessed, it's going to be Zara Rich Warm Addictive. Guys, it's a really good fragrance. It's really sweet. If you like those notes, get it. Even if you don't and you just like compliments, get it. It's about $20 and it's good. It's really good. I can't say anything. The only thing I can say about it is the longevity is not great, but you know what? It's not that big of a bottle. Keep it with you, reapply. If you don't have this one and you have the access to get it for around the $20, you might as well just pick this up. You will thank me, I can promise you that much. I mean, it's not my favorite, it's her favorite, but I still really like it. And honestly, if you're gonna wear something to cuddle up with someone, cause you know, I think we all know it's cuddle season, cuffing season, whatever you want to call it. This is the one to get. People like this. This is a good scent. And if you don't need a lot of projection and you just need something that smells insanely good, I mean, what else are you gonna get? I mean, 20 bucks, smells really good, 100 ml. just do it. I mean, you might as well just do it, right? Just to sum up in terms of price, all 5 of these can be had for a total of around $120, if not less, plus tax, where applicable. So honestly, if you're just looking for some nice cheapies that you can kind of spray on and not really worry about how much you spray this fall, I would recommend any and all of these. Again, the one that I think that you should pick up sooner rather than later, because I am worried that these are going to be off market, is the Barbados Vintage. It's a really good one. I mean, you got to trust me on this. And if you don't like it, you can definitely make more than your money back, because I don't know if they're coming back or if they're taking them off the market. I don't know what is going on with Vintage. And then the other one, probably the one that I feel like everyone should own, is going to be Rasasi Darij. If you haven't looked into it, please do. The cumin note in this is just insanely good. I don't like Rasasi Tasmin yet. I'm gonna give it more of a chance, but the cumin note in here is so good. Now that was my list of 5 cheapies for the fall that I think you should try if you haven't already. Again, I think all of these are unisex. The only one that leans a little bit more masculine to my nose is the Barbados Vintage, but you need to get this anyways because it's stupid good. As always, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!